better we are.
Yeah, we're probably gonna beat them like 100
Yeah,
something.
it might be a blowout.
It's gonna be a blowout. I know that already. But we're not
I
gonna say
really
that.
fucking hope not, bro. I really hope not.
Well, I hope it is a blowout.
Wait, check on 3. See what the chances are for this game. I think it's 93. Last time I checked, 93% chance us. Hey, but think about it, Merc. There's going to be Irving and MacArthur games, which are going to be blowouts, but we got to still do them because, like,
yeah,
it's
practice.
It's practice
Just
and it's
stuff.
recognition. We get to add this shit to our tape, you know?
Yeah.
Pierce makes a fucking head tapper. We get to put that in.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey.
Well, you got to switch it to
Basketball.
boys basketball. What does it say? No, that's not it.
That's not it.
What up, boy?
Where is it at?
It's going to be down right here. I swear it was on there earlier. I literally found it. Why are you on that weird, like, that's like a weird thing. Just search up Jesuit basketball on 3. Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Lake.
100%.
No.
75
Oh
to
my God.
29. This might be BTA. Straight BTA.
Was it 79 to 29?
75 29. Jez College Preparatory. Hey. Hey, let's go, kid. Who? Andrew Eats Legacy game incoming. We need that. Are we muted? I don't think we're muted again.
National Anthem just concluded round 1 of the Bob Straight tournament. I'm joined here by Mercury Cox. Welcome to Walsh Arena. We got a good one here for you today as the Rangers are set to host the Lake Worth.
Yeah, great to be here with you at this wonderful Walsh gym. Jesuit returning to action tonight, looking to build that momentum against the Lake Worth squad that comes in at 1-4 on the season, but riding the energy of their first win on Tuesday, actually, 75-54 victory over Northside on Tuesday. Rangers, they continue to search for consistency on both ends. They've showed really good flashes of elite ball movement and interior dominance. They're still working together to put a full 4 quarters together. I mean, as we saw with the Highland Park game, first half shot 10% from 3 and ended up coming back and won that game.
Yeah, and Jesuit coming off a big win against Highland Park, you know, you carry that momentum into a 3-day tournament here. Now they will play Saxe now tomorrow. That will be at either 4 p.m. or 7 p.m. after Saxe beat Hillcrest. So first round of the Bob Straight tournament. We have a Lake Worth team that is around an hour away from here. About, I think we searched up 42 miles. It's going to be, I don't know. We're in store for an interesting game today. But I'm joined here with my guy, Mercury Cox, back with you. This would be our second full game. And so, yeah, we're happy to be here with you on this beautiful Thursday night as the Rangers are set to host Lake Worth. Lake Worth, talking just a little bit about them, only 8 guys, so, you know, that's not a full substitution. So, you know, Lake Worth could get tired here. You know, not a thing you want if you're Coach Douglas. Last thing you want is least amount of, you don't want, you know, not that many players.
Mm-hmm.
Tip off here.
So Lake Worth, they're averaging 39 points a game while allowing 66, one of the largest scoring gaps that we've seen so far this year. But the Bullfrogs, pretty young and athletic and aggressive. They showed in their last outing that when shots fall, they can hang with anyone. Expect them to attack the rim, play with some pace, and lean on their physical guards.
Yeah, so our starting 5 is the usual starting 5. Justin Fern, Pierce Popaleka, Andrew Eakes, William Alexander, and Cooper Jensen. As Pierce Popaleka will be your center for today, taking the tip for the Rangers. That's going to be won by Lake Worth. That's number 34. We do not have his number.
Yeah, I'm talking about Pierce Popelka. He's shooting an incredible 70% from the field so far this year. Look for a big game today from Pierce Popelka.
Yeah. Pierce, you know, highlight play posted everywhere of that head top against Highland Park. So you might see another one right here. He's going to take it down for an easy lay. That's going to put the Rangers on the board to start off. Pierce Popelka. And it looks like a timeout will be called after the first 30 seconds of play into the game.
Interesting move right there from the Lake Worth coach.
Yeah, Douglas with an interesting coach. Maybe, you know, he saw something in his starting 5 he didn't like. Obviously a little bit frustrated with his players, but Popelka just talking a little bit about his impact here for the Rangers. He's been the leading scorer so far.
Yeah, I mean, going back to Lake Worth and the coach, looks like he just didn't like the hustle of his players to start the game. Yelling at his players to play with a little fire under them.
Yeah, and going into this, Jesuit heavy favorites. So you expect this Lake Worth team to get off to a hot start as they missed the layup there. That's number 0, Peoples. Yeah, talking about Pierce. So far on this year, he is the leading scorer with 83 points. So major impact he is bringing so far for the Rangers.
Yeah,
Rangers starting off in a 2-3 zone too, Mercury.
Already making an impact on defense so far. 2 steals for Pierce Popelka.
Blocked there by Wake.
See, Andrew Eats. Andrew Eats having a few big games to start the season.
For sure, hot from three-point range in the Highland Park game. You know that's his favorite shot out there on the arc, usually on the wings. That is his signature shot, and it works good for him. Getting his points exclusively
He
from
can
there.
really shoot the lights out.
It's going to be Cooper Jensen there guarding. He's going to take it up. It's a miss there for the Bullfrogs. Justin Fern now on transition on the fast break. He's one-on-one. He's going to give it to Pierce. He's just going to work it. He actually gets blocked again. That's the third block of the game for number 34. We do not have his name with us. But a good presence for the Bullfrogs.
Yeah, Lake Worth playing some good defense so far, not allowing those layups. Having 3 blocks already.
Yeah, and what we saw in that Highland Park game, the story for Jesuit, not just the three-point line, but the easy points down low that Highland Park was allowing. And that's what led the Rangers, you know, to ultimately get that win. So you love them to find their guy, Pierce Popelka, down in the paint for those easy points.
Yeah, and as we can see, a little
Shot there
size
by Jensen.
advantage for Pierce Popelka down there in the paint.
Yeah, but you know he's proven going against 6'7" center Drew Fisher in the Highland Park game. He can play against those taller guys, as he's proven this year.
Yeah,
And
Pierce Popelka very physical on offense and defense for sure. Makes his presence known down there in the paint.
Justin Fern here just tips it off. Almost had that fast break layup, but the Bullfrogs are going to be now on possession.
Kind of a defensive first game here we're seeing from Jesuit and Lake Worth.
Yeah, very defensive. You can't argue with that. Low scoring, you know, just means the defenses are playing good. And if you're Coach Hill and Coach Douglas, you love to see your defense playing well. That's going to be put up. That's number 4, Page, to put the Bullfrogs on the board, as that is picked off by number 11. That's Black. He's going to take it off. It's going to be just off. Jensen's going to recover it. Pierce now one-on-one. Looks, he pump fakes. Going to find just off there for Popelka. So a lot different than we saw in the HP game. A lot fast-paced in the beginning. This game very slowed down. You know, the teams are able to run through their plays and kind of slow down this game.
Yeah, I mean, Jesuit kind of playing down to the level of Lake Worth so far. As we saw in the Highland Park game, very fast-paced. Now they're coming out slow.
Yeah,
drawing some turnovers.
And, you know, fast-paced games, they can wear you out, especially, you know, one day to recover for the Rangers. You got to assume some of these players are tired and sore, but it's a 3-day tournament, and you're going to have to deal with that. Yet these guys, you know, been in AAU, been in the circuits, so they're used to this type of grind. So nothing new for the Ranger players here. It's going to be Alexander.
Tournaments made coaches really have to trust their depth
Fern
the
from
bench.
3, just off the front rim.
As we'll probably see some new faces today for the Rangers.
Yeah, talking about injuries, last game 0 injuries, but we do have a person not suited up today. That is Jimmer Moran. He is not suited up today for the Rangers. We'll get you maybe what that injury is maybe during halftime or post-game. So yeah, as we were talking about, you know, right now the score is 6-4, but you know, no assumptions need to be made early, but if the score gets out of hand, you could expect some new guys that have not gotten too much playing time. That's going to be a shot by Fern from the arc. It's going to be just off. So the shot's not falling so far for the Rangers. Mercury, tell us a little bit about those struggles.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen that a few times from Jesuit this year, especially against Frisco Liberty. Getting those good looks, just not getting them the fall. And especially on Tuesday night against Highland Park, only shooting 10% from the 3. Jesuit looks to create more rhythm in their shots.
10% from the 3 in the first half, but that second half was them lighting up from the arc and stopping Cannon Wyatt, who was the sharpshooter in that first half. Went pretty silent in the second half. So yeah, great defense and that pass game. But focusing on this game, Rangers now up 7-6. Really impressive what we've seen early on, Mercury, by this Lake Worth team. The Bullfrogs, as we get there, another one to fall for number 34. Very impressive what we've seen, just kind of slowing down the Rangers so far.
Yeah, keeping up with the Rangers so far. The score is 8-7. 2 minutes left.
Yeah, and with this tournament format, if you lose, you are eliminated. And so this is the first day of tournaments. The next day is not promised. If Jesuit wins, they would play Saxe or Hillcrest. If you do lose, you do still play another game. You do not get sent home, but there's some consequences for losing that game.
Yeah, I mean, Jesuit trying to build some momentum on this year. Kind of struggling to get those consecutive wins so far. Looking to really capitalize on this tournament here.
Yeah, so far in this tournament, Jesuit now playing Lakeworth, but you saw the Saxe win earlier against Hillcrest, St. Mark's beating Santa Fe, and Grand Prairie beating Tacosa. So the second round, you just got to win your game. St. Mark's will take on Grand Prairie. You win that game, you go to the championship, which the Rangers were obviously in last year, where they faced on St. Mark's and beat them in a nail-biter.
Yeah, really good game last
just
year.
Off the front rim.
Hoping to see a rematch again.
So as we're out, Cade Kirby, Colin Grant, and Nick Priegler have been subbed into the game for Cooper Jensen, Pierce Popaleka, and Justin Fern. So Jesuit taking their star players out a little early, rotating some other guys in, getting them some playing time early on.
Yeah, and going back to that layup, way to not be scared of taking contact right there from Colin Grant.
There goes
finishing
Priegler.
that layup.
Great layup there by Priegler. You know, we saw a little bit of Priegler in that Lone Star tournament. Haven't seen too much of him in the Highland. We did not see any of him in the Highland Park game, but it'll be good to see him tonight, as, you know, he killed it in that first game against Frisco Liberties. That's going to be Kirby. He's going to go up. He's going to be fouled, so he's going to be shooting 2 at the charity stripe. Good job there by Kirby.
Yeah, we've seen a few of these players really shine with the opportunity that they've been given, especially Colin Grant and Nick Priegler in that Frisco Lone Star tournament a week ago.
Colin Grant, the junior, he still has that other year, right, to play.
Yep.
And so you love to see that. He is the 3rd tallest player here on the Rangers. He's standing at 6'3", so him and Pierce are the same height. So, you know, Colin doesn't play as your big, but he's been showing that early on. That's going to be just, you know, tipped off.
Yeah, Coach.
Ref's going to call it Lake
Coach
Bullfrogs
O.
ball.
Coach O doing a good job getting some players some playing time, as we see Jack Shar subbing in right here.
Yeah, Shar subbing in. That's the junior Jack Shar. He's gotten a good amount of playing time this year. You know, Jack Shar, sharpshooter, and he's number 2 in assists this year. So, you know, it's good to have that ball handler, as Kirby's going to fumble it a little bit. It's going to be a tussle. Number 3 really got aggressive on him, but...
Yeah, very physical on defense. Almost putting him in a chokehold right there.
Yeah, not what you like to see if you're Ranger fans, but the aggression, you cannot complain for the Bullfrogs, as that's what they'll need. Jack Shar's open in the corner. Eeks does not find him.
Yeah, and I mean, taking on a tough opponent like Jesuit, you really want to be physical on defense. Whoever's more physical usually wins the game.
Yeah, I think maximizing that's just off there for the Bullfrogs. Maximizing all the opportunities given. You know, in basketball, that is a key thing you want to do, but if you are the underdog in this game, you want to maximize on all of these opportunities. The score is 11-10. That will conclude our first period of play. We'll be back with second period of play in just a moment. Back here with second period of play. The score is 11-10, so weird little first quarter there for the Rangers. You look for them to get back on track here. Lake Worth really been slowing it down and breaking them down defensively is what you love to see if you're Coach Douglas so far through our 8 minutes of play.
Yeah, interesting game so far. As we said earlier, Jesuit kind of playing down to the level of Lake Worth. Good competitive game so far, though, from Lake Worth. You love to see that.
That's going to be number 13, Jackson. He's going to dish it out. Jackson's going to get the ball down low. He's going to spin. Doesn't get it to fall. Great defense there by Gasco. Priegler's going to come down with the rebound.
Tough shot right there with Dashel Glasgow down there in the paint. Kind of making his presence known early, getting those hands up.
Yeah, you love to see your big man standing at 6'8". You love to see him get some minutes. As you know, he is a weapon for the Rangers.
Yeah, he was a weapon in the Highland Park game. Highland Park having a size advantage. Dashel Glasgow came in the game, did what he needed to do.
For
really
sure.
A force out there.
Had a block that had this stadium rocking. As that was a little bit in the third quarter. Actually, excuse me, that was the second quarter, had a major block. So, you know, you love to see that out of your 6'8" junior.
Yeah, and as we saw right there, huge size advantage with Dashel Glasgow. I mean, if you're Coach Hill, you really want to find Dashel Glasgow down there in the paint, kind of for that little post move.
Yeah, that's a signature shot, and as we've seen through the couple of opening games, when there is a size disadvantage for him, he will back down that defender and hit his little hook to put it in. That's going to be called a foul there on the Rangers.
We don't really know how tall these Lake Worth players. We got no stats on them. But, I mean, just looking out there, Dashel Glasgow looks huge compared to these Lake Worth players.
And we do not have number 34's name, but he's been very good so far for the Bullfrogs. He's going to drive Met there. That's a block there by Colin Grant. That's going to be taken there by Priegler. He's going to be down the court. That's one-on-one. Puts it in. Actually not going to call it a foul. Glasgow with the second chance points. He's going to put it in.
Just like that.
Love
Big
to
guy
see your
putting
center.
it back up.
Yep.
2 free points.
Cleaning it up there, getting the rebound, putting it up there. You love to see it.
Very physical game so far from these two teams. Refs letting them play through it, as we saw against Highland Park on Tuesday.
Yeah,
refs just letting them play through it.
I like that. I think it goes better just for the flow of the game. That's going to go in there for that went in there for the Bullfrogs. Excuse me, didn't see that one there.
Yeah, I agree with the
it's going to be taken there by number 10. That's Conglo. He's going to put it up for an easy layup. 14-15 here, Rangers lead. It's going to be passed down to Colin Grant, but it's just going to be off. Great defense there by Peoples.
Yeah, I agree with the ref take. I mean, sometimes it gets to a point. I mean, you love the flow of the game going by fast. You know, a lot of action, a lot of blocks, a lot of steals.
Dashel Glasgow just off there. Colin Grant surveying the court. That's Priegler. Kirby's going to look down low. He's going to get it to fall. Great shot there by Kirby. Haven't seen too much of him this year, but you love to see the points there by the star football wide receiver.
Jesuit really capitalizing on those second chance points, as we've seen a lot of missed layups and shots. Good offensive rebounding so far from the Rangers.
Yeah, and when you have that height advantage, what you want to do is maximize those rebounds, get those second chance points, as a travel is going to be called there on number 34.
And if you're Jesuit right here, kind of looking to extend the lead, kind of get the game out of reach right here in the second quarter.
So Priegler subbed off. Now we have Pierce Popelka in the game. So the two centers for the Rangers so far this season have been subbed into the game. That's Dashel Glasgow and Pierce Popelka. So Coach Hill sending out his tall guy lineup with 4 minutes and 40 seconds left to play. I like it.
Yeah, and we see the second called foul of the game right there. Cade Kirby getting into it with these Lake Worth players, being very physical so far.
That's going to be a shot by Shar. Obvious foul. So he's going to go to the line for 3 there.
Yeah,
Can't
and these
do
free
that.
throws right here, very big. Free throws, 3 points, man. Got to hit them.
And as we've seen, you know, in that Frisco Liberty game, Frisco Liberty shot so many free throws. And free throws are the winners because they're slowly, you'll just tick up points. And if you can have that guy who can draw the fouls in the paint, it's a big advantage.
Yeah, and I mean, sometimes free throws determine games. I mean, Highland Park 64-62. 2 missed free throws really cost Highland Park. I mean, those are 2 points. Should have taken it to overtime, you know.
Yeah, and like I've said many times before, the word free is in free throw.
Yep.
So
send them to the charity line.
Practice those as much as you can. Here comes the Bullfrogs on possession. People's here at point guard. He's going to take the shot. Just off, rims off. Great rebound there by Dashiell Glasgow. Jensen's going to push it up the court.
Jensen kind of risky today. Trying to get the ball up court.
Jensen, as we have said, is a very scrappy player. And that's what you love to see for the Rangers, especially in the close game against Highland Park. He was able to use that scrappiness to his advantage, get some key turnovers, which put some positive points up for the Rangers on that transition.
Yeah, we've seen him all year. I mean, diving for balls.
Gonna be a shot there by Jensen.
Aggressive on defense.
That's in.
And I mean, don't let Cooper Jensen get hot, man. Once he's in the rhythm, you can't stop him.
Leading three-point scorer is Cooper Jensen, as he's been dominant from the arc so far. His three-pointers made is 9, so he leads the team with three-pointers. Last guy you want to have in the arc wide open if you are the Bullfrogs. That's a great rebound there by Jensen. All-around player, Jensen, I feel.
Yeah, great guy to have out there. Kind of glue guy for Jesuit. Really puts all these pieces together.
Love that. We're going to see another 3. That's in. 2 for 2 for Jensen.
Don't let him get hot, man. I'm telling you.
If I could have gave one word to the Bullfrogs coach, I would say, don't let 11 shoot. And that's the last thing you want to do as he's knocked down 2, 100% from the arc so far. That's going to conclude. No, it's not. Sorry. We have 2 minutes and 55 seconds left in the second period as a timeout has been taken. We'll be just back in just one moment. And one, unmute us. We're back here after the short timeout. Rangers leading 25-14, so we see them pull away, only allowing the Bullfrogs 4 points in the second quarter. Great defense by the Rangers, and I would credit that a little bit to Gasco.
Yeah, he's been a real threat down there, getting those offensive rebounds, and especially down over here in the paint on defense, being a real threat, putting his hands up, not allowing those easy layups or easy shots. Getting rebounds on both sides of the ball. Can also credit Cooper Jensen hitting those threes. Really letting this game
and I like
the lead for Jesuit.
I like the Coach Hill substitution to put your 2 tallest guys in the game. I like it from Coach Hill. So Alexander's going to be met with 2 guys on a double team. He's going to pass it down low. The easy points I was talking about in the first quarter as Popelka just puts it up. That's his favorite zone to shoot from, and it's so money from there, Mercury.
Yeah, the superstar adding to his total points this year, averaging 16.6 points per game.
Yeah, and Popelka having that varsity experience, being on varsity last year. Obviously, last year was a very senior-heavy class, but, you know, he gets to learn a lot from Michael Grant, who played that same role as him. So you love to see that development through his first 3 years at Jesuit, all shown in this 4th year as a senior year.
Yeah, and that's great. I mean, even this year, you got people like Justin Fern, Pierce Popelka, William Alexander, tutoring these younger guys like
Three
Andrew
for three
Eats,
for Jensen.
setting up Jesuit for the long run in the future.
Jensen's on fire so far. Can't stop talking about him because he's just been every other play as a three-pointer from him.
Yeah, Chid's shooting the lights out right now. You love to see that from Cooper Jensen.
Yeah, that's 12 on the year for Jensen from the arc. That's going to be a shot taken by number 34, the big man, just off.
Yeah, another tough shot for Lake Worth. Dashiell Glasgow, real threat out there.
Popelka drawing the foul. Tried to hit a little Euro step. Doesn't get it to fall, but he's going to shoot 2 at the line. So just going over some stats so far for the Rangers. Three-pointers attempted. Jensen has shot 10 more than Justin Fern. So he's shooting, and if you're Coach Hill, you keep on telling him, take those shots. They will fall, as he's been a very efficient three-point shooter this year. You know, his three-point percentage being pretty high at .310%. That's what you love to see if you're Coach Hill.
Yeah, it's been a big point all year for the Rangers. Just
Second
keep
one just
shooting.
off.
Those shots will eventually fall.
So Andrew Eakes subbed in. So now Pierce will be the true center. Eakes brings you that dynamic shooting of his from the arc.
Yeah, going back to that cheap shooting point. Andrew
Intercepted
Eats,
there by Fern. It's going to be just out of bounds by Popelka.
Andrew Eats starting the year off rough, having gone 0 for 7 in his first 2 games. Really been a superstar these last few games. Getting a lot of shots to fall, putting up a bunch of points for the Rangers.
And as we were talking about last year, Mercury, we were talking a little bit about, you know, these guys getting experience. We saw some of William Alexander last year as he got some good playing time last year. Obviously, the lead assist leader with 18 is that's going to be Jensen for his 4th from the night. He's going to get it to fall. 4 for 4 from Jensen. He's on fire.
He's on fire, baby.
And if I'm Coach Douglas, I'm telling to double team him.
Man, Lake Worth got to step up, man. Can't let him shoot.
Man, he's next time out he calls, I bet you he says, don't let 11 shoot. As any reasonable coach would say, Jetson on fire so far, 4 for 4 for the game. But going back to what we were talking about, William Alexander, leading assist leader at 18. He could put up real numbers from assists, and that's what you love to see from a guard. You know, opening those shots and spacing the court, which is going to allow more shots here for the Rangers, and that's been their key to success so far this season.
Yeah, Jesuit really good at spreading the ball around.
It's going to be tipped off again by Jensen. A little too late, as that will conclude our second period of play. Jesuit pulling away there after a slow first quarter. Our score is 34-14. We'll be back in just a moment with some second half stats and recap. 2 and 1. So some stats here of our first half. The Rangers are up 34-14. Mercury.
Yeah, some key points going to the second half. For Jesuit, they really need to keep up that defensive pressure. It's really dictating the game so far, holding Lake Worth to only 14 points through one half of basketball. And some Lake Worth struggles. Offensive rhythm really hasn't clicked. Only 14 points in the half, as I just said. Cold shooting, limited ball movement, but a few bright spots and hustle plays, but it's really not enough to keep up with Jesuit's efficiency.
Yeah, so first half stats, as we were talking about, Jesuit not shooting how they wanted to in that first half. We're 5 for 13. That's 38.5% from field goal range, and the three-pointers weren't hitting either. That's 1 for 4 for the Rangers, too. But the different story in that second quarter was the field goal percentage, as they were 80%, 8 from 10 from field goal range, 4 for 5 from three-point range, thanks to a lot of credit for Jensen, who is also our leading scorer with 12 points. Take us through some other stats, Mercury, so far.
Yeah, so leading rebounders, Cooper Jensen. Cooper Jensen having a breakout game today.
Breakout.
12 points, 4 rebounds, 1 steal, 0 turnovers so far. Really solid game from Cooper Jensen. Also
Yeah.
4 for 5 from field goal. Really good so far from Cooper Jensen.
All-around player we've talked about, Cooper Jensen. William Alexander leading an assist with 3 assists. You know he loves to spread the rock around, and he's showing that early on.
Yeah, 3 assists. I mean, that's what Jesuit's been good at all year. I mean, spreading the ball around, letting everyone have a chance to score.
Yeah, and the leading scorer for Lake Worth, Eddie Page, was 6 points, so expect a little bit more out of number 4 as they look to use him. Our second half is now in play as Justin Fern will hand it off to Jensen. Looks for the shot, doesn't take it.
Yeah, if I'm Cooper Jensen right there, considering how hot he's been shooting so far, I'll probably take that shot.
I think it's important, though, Coach Hill, and he's going to take it just off. That's his first miss in a while, Mercury.
Yeah.
It's going to be called a foul there on Jensen. So Jensen having a great all-around game today. Haven't seen too much so far of Eeks. I mean, not too much, but, you know, Eeks, if he's not, you know, putting it up in the points category, there's a lot more he provides for this Rangers team, and you'd love to see that from a sophomore.
Yeah, in every game, we've seen him provide some hustle to the court for the Rangers. Forcing those turnovers on defense, really been a threat on defense this year. As Coach Hill yelling at his players. Not liking the hustle so far.
A little mistake. We did not have it in the first. Number 32, which is actually number 34, that is Tyrell Struggs. So he's wearing number 34 tonight. The roster gave us 32, so we're sorry about that, but he's 1 for 5 shooting here from field goal percentage, but as we've seen, he's made that up on the defensive side, Mercury. It's going to be just off.
Back-to-back steals right there for both teams.
Just keeps it in bounds. Great hustle play there by number 11, Black.
A little sloppy basketball to start the second half for both teams, as we just saw back-to-back turnovers right there.
Yeah, but you know Coach Hill preaches, stay aggressive and don't turn that notch down. Keep that intensity the same if you want to win games, especially in a 3-day tournament span. Popelka is going to get hit there. Another foul for the Bullfrogs.
Being up 34-14 going into the second half, you don't want to take your foot off the gas. You want to keep adding on, you know.
Yeah.
Coach Hill was probably saying in the locker room, just put them away right here.
Another interesting stat for the Bullfrogs so far. 0 free throw shooting, but more importantly, they are 0% from the three-point range, attempting 4 so far, haven't gone 1 to fall. And from that first quarter, they were the same percentage as Jesuit. Both teams were 5 and 13, but, you know, getting into that second half, Jesuit got better, going to 80%, and the Bullfrogs decreased down to 22%. So flipped game here
Yeah,
at Walsh Arena.
Lake Worth struggling to move the ball. I mean, limited ball movement so far, leading to forced isolation shots down there, as we've seen. I mean, the offensive rhythm just really hasn't clicked. I mean, as we saw last quarter, only 4 points scored in the second quarter compared to Jesuits 23.
That's great defense for the Rangers. And as we were saying, if you're Lake Worth, if Jesuits knocking down those threes and those easy shots, you don't want to let them have that. You know, if Jesuit was on a cold night, you let them have, you know, more of those shots. But when they're shooting lights out, it's the last thing you want. That's Eakes. He's gonna get it to fall. That's his favorite shot, and he
Jesuit
hits the trifecta.
Adding on here to the score, kind of running away with the game so far in the second half.
Yeah, that's Eakes' first points for the game. Is also his first field goal attempt. So he is 100% 1-for-1 from field goal range and three-point range. That's going to be Cade Kirby. Passes out to Popelka. Lays it in on the little George Gervin Iceman. Rolls it into
right
the hoop.
There. Good move right there. Way to be unselfish. Not taking the layup, passing it to Popelka. Puts it off the glass for the easy points. Love to see that.
Love to. Rebound there by Kirby. He's going to take it fast. Not going to slow it down. He's going to find Eakes. Eakes is going to drive. He's going to put it in. A little rare there. You see Eakes driving down to the hoop. You love to see that from Eakes. He's an all-around player, Mercury.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you spread the ball. For all 5 players on the offense, creating that offensive rhythm.
It's going to be great defense there by Alexander and Popelka. Cade Kirby here coming down with the rebound. That's 2 big plays to put them on transition. Eakes, it's going to be just off. But as we're talking, Cade Kirby been doing really good to start this third period.
Yeah, Jesuit's been locked down on defense so far. I haven't allowed 0 points.
Put that up. That is the 6th point.
As I just jinxed it right there.
And it's the commentator's jinx.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
That's going to be Jensen, another one. Just off. Love to see him shooting, though, as Coach Hill will tell him, keep on taking those shots.
Those shots will fall for sure for Jensen.
They will fall, and we have seen that. Thank you for tuning in with us. We currently have 24 viewers, but we know the Cowboys game is going on. That score is 3-3, but as we said, NFL is for Sunday, and Thursday and Fridays are for some Sebastian Dunn and Mercury Cox Mercury. It's going to be a shot by Eakes. Gets it to fall.
We love to see that from your sophomore. Letting him get hot.
2 for 2 for Eakes. Taking the shots in this second half. He's getting them to fall. He already has 2 threes and 1-2 down low. That's 8 points for Eakes. You love to see that from your sophomore.
Yeah, 2 breakout players today, and Cooper Jensen and Andrew Eakes.
Yeah, Andrew Eakes a little bit quiet in that first half, but you know, that first quarter was a little quiet for the Rangers overall. Love to see him step in and hit those shots as we know he can. It's going to be Glasgow, finds Priegler down low. This ball's going to be off the foot of the Bullfrogs. Slows it down. Going to dish it out to number 3. He's going to take the shot. That's going to be just off. That's Davis there with the shot. So, Mercury, no, actually looking at our stats, never mind. That's the 5th three-pointer for the Bullfrogs. They are 0-5 from the three-point range. That's Eakes again. Gets it to fall. So Eakes with 2 makes from the arc and 2 misses.
Yeah, going back to Lake Worth's offense, still struggling, 0 for 5 from 3 on the game as we just see another turnover right there. Yeah, tough game for Lake Worth.
Three-pointers are crucial, and just talking a little bit, I feel like Jesuit kind of cracked the code on this, you know, Bullfrogs offense, only allowing 6 points after the first quarter. That's huge if you're Coach Hill.
As you see, number 4, a little frustrated with his coach, asking for a sub.
So seeing subbing into the game, we see Zach Lyons with his 2nd appearance of the game. And a new face here, Braden Conlon. This is his first time checking into the game this season for the Rangers. You love to see that.
Yeah, you loved seeing these new faces, letting them get some opportunities. Up 44-16 right here.
And, you know, me and Mercury said a little bit if we thought this game would kind of go a little bit high scoring as it's been through 2 quarters and a half. You love to see subbed in. That's the first points of the year for Zach Lyons. That must feel good, Mercury.
Yeah, and the bench loves it too. Really supporting their boy, Zach Lyons. Whole bench loves it.
First point as a senior. You love to see that from him. Love to see the confidence to take that shot.
Yeah, and you know, Zach Lyons really appreciates all these players, all his boys on the bench. That team chemistry is through the roof, man.
Through the roof. Having 7 seniors, that's a pretty big number, and you love to see that there for your senior.
Yeah, all these players haven't played together for multiple years as we see Zach Lyons.
Hits it.
Another one.
Let him shoot. He hits those. I love to see him get in there and make an impact in this 3rd quarter of play. There's Gasco, got him down low. He's gonna tip the ball. Great job there by Gasco. That's gonna be a block for him. Priegler's gonna be carrying the ball down the court. So a 3 there. And just off. That would have been the first points of the year for Conlin, but you love to see him take those threes.
Yeah, and in moments like these little opportunities can really
It's going to be tipped there by
help influence the rest of the year for you. I mean, how you perform in games like these might just influence Coach Hill to give you some more minutes in each game.
So a foul there by the Rangers. That was number 41, Dashel Glasgow. So number 13 will be Jackson shooting 2 at the line. Continue talking what you were talking about, Mercury.
Yeah, I mean, just taking advantage of these opportunities as we see here. Zach Lyons already got 5 points.
Did you see who just got subbed in, Mercury?
Oh, yeah.
Number 25, that's Jack Sisk, the junior. You know, he was dealing with some injuries early on this year. Love to see him play tonight.
Yeah, great to see him back out there.
Yeah, great to see him back out there. Obviously had to deal with some injuries early on, but you love to see that there from your junior. So he's going to be sent to the foul line again. That's 3 quick fouls for the Rangers, but talking a little bit more, Coach Hill can really get a lot more of these players involved as Mercury. We have seen now with the sub-in of Jack Sisk, every single player has now been subbed in except for Jimmer Moran as he is hurt, but as we predicted, every player has now been subbed in as that's going to be just off.
Yeah, and that's great from Coach Hill. Really letting all these players get opportunities to play. You love to see that.
Yeah, and I think a key thing for these Rangers early on is rest. Okay, this is a 3-day tournament. They're expected to go far as they did last year, making it to the championship game and winning against St. Mark's. So you want your guys to get rest, but also you want your other guys to get experience. That's going to be Dashel Glasgow with this little hook shot that we know he loves. It's going to be in. That's 2 easy points for the Rangers as this is going to conclude our 3rd period of play. It's just off there. Talking a little bit there. Great job there by Zach Lyons, you know, making the 3 and going down low and getting those 2 points. The bench loves it. The fans love it, and we love to see that from him, the senior. We'll be back in just a minute with 4th period of play. The Rangers have a dominating lead, 51. Unmute us. Yeah, just put it on. Back here with your fourth period of play, the Rangers taking a dominating lead, 51-17. Mercury. Only 7 points allowed after that first quarter.
I wonder what Coach Hill said in that locker room after that first half. Really been dominant on defense, as we see jump ball right here.
Yeah, and you know, I think what it's been so far, this storyline has been the Rangers' defense. You know, only allowing 7 points since that first quarter. You know, the first quarter did end 11-10, so me and Mercury up here were thinking some other things, but Jesuit fixed all those mistakes made, tightened up, and is really showing that in this fourth quarter of play.
Yeah, quite confused after that first quarter. Jesuit kind of playing down to Lake Worth's level, but in that second quarter, the third quarter, they've been playing up now, been really dominant on offense and defense.
So number 22, Jacoby Kowal will sub in. This is a starting five we have not seen all year, Mercury. We got Zach Lyons, Colin Grant, Jacoby Kowal, Jack Sisk. And I like it. I like it from Coach Hill. You know, let your guys get as much time. That's a foul there.
Yeah, all five forwards, right? Guards?
Yeah, it's a pretty tall ball roster so far, but you love to see that. You know, a lot of juniors out here. Colin Grant, Zach Lyons, the senior, Jack Sisk Jr. But you love to see that from Coach Hill and Coach Alexander, subbing those guys in.
Yeah, and going back to that point you made earlier, resting your starters. Jesuits had a tough game tomorrow against Saxe, who we saw blew out Hillcrest.
That's assuming they win, Mercury.
Assuming they win.
Assuming they win. Hey,
yep.
Basketball is unpredictable, man. But, yeah, Jesuit is presumably able to take on Saxe. That's number 23. He's going to go just off.
Yeah, going back to that, we saw Saxe blow out Hillcrest today.
Yeah.
Saxe looking like a really good team.
A really good team.
A lot of chemistry there. Very fundamental basketball team.
If we're talking this tournament, just off of watching all the games so far, I would put St. Mark's, Jesuit, and Saxe as some of my top three contenders to win this, as that's going to be just off. The bench is standing up. They want to see that bucket fall. But you love that aggressiveness there.
Yeah, and going back to those earlier games, the real underdog was Grand Prairie. I really loved seeing Grand Prairie in warm-ups. You know, throwing down those windmill dunks.
That's going to be in.
Pretty impressive.
That's number 25, Jack Sisk. The bench loves to see their guy get some points.
Yeah, all around, really solid teams in this tournament. St. Mark's was unbelievable today against Santa Fe.
Yeah, St. Mark's led by the five-star Dawson Petit. You know, he has offers from almost every single Power 5 school, ranked number 10 nationally for the Lions. So that's one of the big guys that Jesuit's going to have to stop if they want to win this tournament.
Yeah, Dawson Petit, really a force out there. Throwing down some vicious
monster
dunks.
slams. We had students coming in during their community time break to watch the game, and they couldn't get enough, as that's in. Number 25, Jack Sisk, the junior, excuse me. Love to see that from him.
First points of the year.
Yeah, love to see it.
Yeah, as this game goes on, I'd like to see all these guys score some points.
Yeah,
First points of the year. I mean, Braden Conlon out there.
Yeah. And it's always good. Jack Shar is now subbed in for Colin Grant. So very junior-heavy lineup right now on the court, which you love to see, because all those juniors right now on the court will be calling their name next year a lot more than we are this year. As that's a rebound there by number 22. That's Conlon. Just talking a little bit. They are juniors, Mercury.
Yeah, almost kind of a preview for next year.
Yeah. And you got to expect, you know, this would be some sort of a starting five. You know, Colin Grant, also a junior, you expect him to play more of a big man role next year, but love to see a little bit of a preview on how the starting five might mesh, you know, together next year for their senior year. That's going to be a deep shot there. It's going to be just off. It's number 25, Sisk. That's going to be in. Number 23, Conlon there. Gets it to drop.
Yet again, more first points in the year right there for Conlon.
Yeah.
Love to see that.
Love to see the confidence here for your guys, as this is a long tournament, and from what we've seen today, they might not get too much minutes in this tournament, but, you know, Jesuit will travel to Missouri, and they have 2 games there, one against DeSmit, which is number 7 in Missouri, so that's going to be a really, really big test for the Rangers.
Yeah, Jesuit, having gone through multiple tests this year in these tournaments.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of proving themselves in these tournaments.
And I think the great thing, Mercury, about these tournaments are, you know, first district game on December 19th, Friday, 7 p.m. at Lake Highlands High School. We will have that here on JRSN, but talking a little bit about those tournaments, you can really find your identity. That's going to be just off. You can really find your identity as a team if you're the Rangers. You really build that team chemistry, really, you know, find what your pieces are, and you love to see that as, you know, district play is not going to be easy this year.
Yeah, and I mean, finding that identity, coaches also find who those dogs are on the team. I mean, as we're seeing right here, tough shot.
Love to see.
But we've seen people like Cooper Jensen step up in this game.
For sure.
Really been dominant. Same with Andrew Eakes.
Yeah, Eakes lighting it up from three-point range. As we know, he loves to shoot it. He doesn't care where it is. He will shoot it if it is open.
Yeah, and also in these games, prove
it's going to be tipped there.
Whether these players are fighters or not, I mean, having to face Allen as their first game of the year, Coach will probably learn some things from his guys.
Yeah, and I mean, not an easy, you know, district play. Richardson and Lake Highlands being some of those top teams. Great block there by number 22, Kowal. That's going to fall. It's number 23, Conlon. The bench loves it. Let's just talk a little bit about the Rangers here. As we have 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, but we want to keep you on a little bit more on the future of the Rangers and just keep you a little bit more on that. We'll have that with you in just one moment. But just talking a little bit more of this game, defense has been the story here for the Rangers. You love to see that, and when you get good defense and good offense like this, you open up the opportunities for your guys who have not gotten too many minutes to, you know, really settle in to the season.
Yeah, and I mean, kind of going off topic here, as we talked about some Jesuit alumni, Caleb Steger going off against LSU.
Yeah, love to see that.
We love to see that.
That's the Boston College, excuse me. I had a little bit of a brain fart, but Boston College guard. He's in his true freshman season. And you love to see that from Caleb Steger. Obviously, me and Mercury were not on air last year, but we got to experience the chemistry between him and Michael Grant. Man, that was something different, man. That was something different.
That was something special, man. Watching all those games, I loved watching those two come out there and play.
I mean, this gym was packed when he was playing. It's going to be Lions. It's going to be blocked there. But, you know, he really raised the roof when he's here. You know, his chemistry between him and Michael Grant. Also, Caleb Steger being the highest ranked Jesuit player we've had through our basketball program as a 3-star. Had offers from Boston College and TCU. So, big loss for the Rangers. But as we've seen so far, you know, they were able to break that 10-game loss streak against Highland Park and really show that this team is very special. And, you know, just because you don't have that All-American nominee in Caleb Steger doesn't mean you're not legit. And Coach Hill, you know, coaching this team really, really well.
Yeah, and we've seen over these years, Coach Hill, really solid coach.
It's going to be a shot there. It's going to get it to fall. That's Conlon.
As Coach Hill has been above 500 every single year
Wow.
in his tenure.
And
Really solid career.
And if
Coach
I'm not
Hill.
mistaken, I think Coach Hill has been playing for 18 seasons. So, you know, Jesuit, they keep coaches for a long time, and you love to see that. You know, Brandon Hickman coaching the football program for 20-plus years, Coach Hill 18 years, and then you got Coach DeLong, who is the third most winning UIL soccer coach in Texas history. So, just talking about this. And a little bit, too, you know, talking about the athletic program, Mercury. Kyle Herma, right? Building a great program here as the Rangers have the most athletics in UIL. So you love to see that. Your final score is 65-22. We'll be back here on JRSN as the Jesuit Rangers will take on Saxe. Any post-game thoughts, Mercury?
Really solid game on defense for the Jesuit Rangers. Really dominant win today against Lake Worth.
Yeah.
Only allowing 22 points through 4 quarters of basketball. That's what Jesuit has been needing.
Yeah.
Play a full 4 quarters of basketball. I mean, obviously not having the starters out there, but
for that
the
quarter.
2-3 quarters we saw the starters really solid, especially on offense, creating that rhythm that's really been lacking this year.
In a great way, Mercury, to start off this first game, as you know, this will be their easiest opponent.
Yep.
As they have to take on Saxe tomorrow. That will be either at 4 p.m. or 7 p.m. We will update the schedule to let you know. Games will be here on YouTube, all the games in this tournament. You won't miss a single minute of the Bob Stray Tournament Memorial. So we're signing off tonight. Dominant win for the Rangers. Love to see the whole entire team get involved.
We will see you tomorrow, though.
Tune in. We'll see you tomorrow for the second round of the Bob Stray
Teddy Bear
Memorial
Toss
Tournament. Teddy Bear Toss. Bring your teddy bears. We'll be back tomorrow.